Welcome to the game.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sean. This is the Game Room. Thanks for joining us. We're continuing with our Heavy Gear Blitz series, and we are working on NuCoal now. We finished up our Peace River models, and all 12 of them are built, ready to get primed so we can start painting them. Let's get the NuCoal built as quickly as possible so that we can get them painted as well and get them on the table. Tonight we are going to build, and I'm going to butcher this, but we are going to build the Chasseur. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, but oh well. It's you get 4 of these in the starter box, and they make a pretty cool model. And I'm not going to go over the sprue in depth, but if you followed along with the Peace River, the different parts are roughly the same. You can see the part layout on page 55 of the assembly guide. So if you've downloaded that, go to page 55. You'll see all the parts that are on the sprue. Let me show you the sprue. Okay, so here's the sprue, and page 55, I believe it is. Yeah, 55. You can see the layout, what all the parts are. We are going to build a gunner variant, which has the medium autocannon. And I think I'm going to do him in a running pose just because. So I'll move that leg off to the side. Again, I have clipped off everything off of the sprue that I think I might need, including the space fillers, which are these little extra piece of armor, the ammo, or the grenades. And hopefully you'll see these are relatively straightforward to get put together. The neat thing about these models, if you watch the Peace River, the parts it's the same parts. They're different, but they're the same. And what I mean by that is you get arms, you have legs, you have front armor plates, you've got side armor plates, you've got a butt plate, you've got the hips, you've got the torso, the engine, the head, shoulders, and the arms. Choice of 2 for each side, depending on how you want your model to go, and then your weapons. So a little bit of variety, same as the other ones, but once you put one together, the rest of them should just kind of fall into place. Probably not until we get to the larger model, the Chevalier, where you'll have some more parts, and we'll talk about that when we get to that video. So without further ado, plastic weld in hand, let's build a model. So just like we did with the previous ones, using my plastic weld, and on these there's a little divot here in the front pad. You want to make sure you have the right one. Let me show you that real quick. Let me get that glued on from my glue dries. Glue dried. I'm under a fan, so it's going to dry really quick. If you look at the top of the inside of this right here, you want to make sure that this is on the outside, and the reason for that is when you attach it to the leg piece, it gives you that little bit of extra room to work with, as you can see right there. Hopefully you can see that. If it was on that side, you would be bumping right up against it. So make sure you put that on the outside. Okay, so let's put that back in the middle. And let's go ahead and put on the outside armor piece. Alright, let that sit for a minute. Now for our running leg. Now, if you look at the pictures on page 57, you can also see that on how you want to how the armor looks and how you want to position it. You notice I have this little piece right here facing towards the outside of the model. If you have questions about which way do the armor plates go, is the rounded part up, is it down, just look at the pictures in the assembly guide. And that's the best help that I have found for any of these parts on these models. Alright, let's go. We're going to let those set for a few minutes while we work on butt plate. Now, the butt plate and the hips, again, there is a slot on the inside which will fit like that, and it'll just come straight up to the back of the hip. So try to keep it as easy as possible. Get that into the groove, and look at that. It just kind of almost snaps right into place. And we're going to press, give that a moment for the glue or the weld to work its magic. And whilst doing that, we can go ahead and put the back plate on. And this is it's not a back plate, I keep calling it a backpack. It's really the engine that drives the gear. And again, this is going to fit like so. It's going to be kind of a tight fit like now, but once you put that plastic weld on it, it will slide into place. This is your first video with us on this series. The plastic weld melts the plastic and kind of it melts the plastic on both sides that it's touching and really gives it a good bond if you use the plastic weld. Super glue works too. The plastic weld does give you some time to work with the model. If you need to remove an arm after you put it on or stuff like that, you do have some time. Whereas super glue, you pretty much lose that time. And even after the plastic weld has dried a little bit, you can still kind of maneuver or pull things off and then reapply the plastic weld and put it back on. Whereas with super glue, you're gonna end up, it's gonna be difficult. You could probably end up breaking the piece before the super glue lets go. Okay, so how do I want to position his front leg? I'm looking at, I want him, since he's going to be walking, I do want this to be kind of angled downwards, so I want this leg kind of pushed forward, and I'll show you how that looks right after I get it on. But the neat thing about these is, and we've talked about this in the previous videos if you've watched those, you have this little divot here which fits onto this ball right there, so it gives you not only somewhere to put it, but it gives you a little bit of leeway to kind of rock it however you want, and kind of that way too, so you can really kind of play around and get the range or the position of the leg that you're looking for. So let's go ahead and put that on there. And so what I'm looking for is, I want it on, but I want it kind of up forward, and I want it out a little bit because it is walking, so he would have his weight on the left leg leaning forward. Kind of like so. That's almost running. Bring that back down just a little bit. And there we go. Let's let that set for a moment. And then this one we will position like right under there, like so. And we will drop it. Okay. So let's go where we get. There. One. We'll go ahead and hold that there for a second. Don't have to press, just let the plastic weld work its magic. It's just melting those two parts together. Alright. And now with that, I'm going to pull out my glue dot base so I can set these on there. I'm going to set it straight down so that way those legs don't reposition themselves. And that's what we're looking at. Not really a run, more of he's at a walking pace. Very cool. Alright, so while we let that set for just a second, let's talk about the torso and how do we want the torso to look on there. So if he's looking this way, that's kind of straight ahead, that's kind of looking up, looking to his right. I think I'm going to go kind of like to his right, like so. And then we will have, then we get to choose which arm that we want to put out there because he's going to be holding the medium autocannon. I don't want it down. I think I want him like he's facing it out, like he's ready to shoot. Ooh, maybe we'll do it kind of at a side, not that you can see that, but kind of at a side where he's walking and he's got that up like he's bringing it around like so. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Okay, so to go ahead and attach this, we have to get some glue on there, get it into there. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to position him like that and tilt him a little bit that way. So he's like, oh, he's bringing it around, so he's going to go that direction. Alright, so we do need to let that sit for just a second while we look at the shoulders. Now, these are the shoulders, and as you can pretty much tell, this hole right here is going to fit onto the ball, and you've got 360 motion pretty much is how do you want that, where do you want that arm to go, and which arm do you want to use. This one is literally straight out. This one is much, is more at a bend. So if I was going to do like that, and then kind of put that kind of down like that, but put the gun on it, then it would kind of have that look like he's trying to bring that gun up. I think that would be cool. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'll put that on there. I'll put some glue in here. Now, in the other videos, you probably saw me, you're like, hey, you put the shoulder pads on first. Doesn't really matter. It's really more of a, what works best for you. And this one, I'm really trying to figure out, hey, what's the best way to get this arm? So it's probably best to just glue the arm on first. And then we will do it like that. Yeah, that could be really cool. Alright, so once that arm is in, put the glue there, and put it on the ball there, and reattach. Alright, so the multi parts of this model really let you play around with how do you want your model to look. Different poses, twist the torso, move the different arms. You can really you can have an army of one model and make them all, different. So it's really kind of cool. Plus they all have different weapon options. So you have that ability as well to kind of play around with how you want to build your force. So we have that so far. Now, if he's doing that, and I'm kind of mimicking that, so right leg back while I'm sitting down, right leg back, leaning forward, pulling this one out. Where's the left arm? Left arm is probably, we could put the left arm like this, holding the knife. Not that you can see that, but if he's pulling this arm up, you can't see it. Maybe we'll have the left arm out front, like he's twisting, and it'll have the knife in his hand, maybe with the blade down. That could be cool. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about, see where you can actually see it. Let's do, which arm? Well, if we did, I didn't go over with this. If you've not watched the Peace River, let me talk about these arms real quick. Since this is our first video in the NuCoal series, to tell which arm goes on which side, it's a hand. I will zoom in on this, but you have thumbs there, there, and there. So if you just look for where's the thumb, you can figure out is it a right hand or is it a left hand. So if you look at him, you'll see that his fingers are there. Inside of his hand, there's the thumb right there. Okay. All right, so let's try this arm. These are a pretty tight fit, so give me a little bit to play with. Do it that way. Or, actually, I think I want it more... like that. Yeah. Okay. All right, yeah, you'll see it. Sorry, these big hands, little parts. You may not be able to see it real well. You'll see it here in just a second. So, I'm going to go ahead and glue the arm into the. Make sure you put it in the right way. I almost glued it in backwards. Okay, thumbs there, inside of the arm. So now, there, and there. So this is what I'm talking about. We'll have that arm like this. All right, and when we're ready to attach the blades, which I'll paint the knife separately because these can kind of get in the way. That knife will be like right there. So it's like he's slashing away with the left hand, bringing the gun around to open fire. And we'll have him facing. Let's go ahead and do that now. We'll attach his head. We'll have him facing that way. So that way he's looking to his left. He's got his body twisted to the right. He's bringing that gun up and around at the same time. Left arm is up, so I gotta be cool. That looks kind of cool. Okay, how do we attach the gun? So to attach the gun, since the gun is going to be in his hand, he's kind of holding the grip. I just cut the grip off. And then make sure it's flat. And the way I do it is I just glue it directly to his arm, like so. You might want to put the guns on. You might want to paint the weapons first and then attach them, which allows you to get in more detail. Depending on how much detail you want to put into the models, or how much painting you want to do, it's up to you. Of how much of the model you want to put together. You might want to leave different parts. Like I want to leave the arms off so you can get under there. When we paint these, we will paint to what I call a 3-foot tabletop standard. In other words, if it looks good from 3 feet, it looks good. Really, the only ones I really spend a ton of time on, or lots of time is like maybe like if you have like a chief model or a warlord or something like that, you might want to spend a little more time on to make them look really cool. Because if you have a force out there, that's probably the one people would want to pick up and look at. But for the most part, I'm interested in getting them painted so they look cool, get them on the table. And if you're looking at them, if you're standing at the gaming table and you're looking down at them, they're painted, they have some shading on them from about 3 feet away, they look really cool, you're there. And part of my painting series is to help new people paint. If you're trying to become a master painter, bless you. I think that's fantastic. There are really magnificent painters out there. Angel Giraldez is probably one of the best. I have both of his books. They're great. Great guy to learn from. There's a lot of really good painters out there you can get a lot of really good tips from if that's what you're going for. If you want something simple, straight, I will show you how to do that when I paint these, because if I spent every day of the rest of my life painting, I will never die because I have that much plastic in the backlog. So, with that said, I will shut up. Let's talk about this guy. He's had a chance to set. We still need to attach his rocket pack. So, I can attach it either on the left or on the right. You have a hole here and a hole here, depending on which side you want to put it on. I pretty much always put them on the left side. Don't know why I always do that, but it just seems to be the right spot for it. So, I will do that again here. Put the glue on. Now, when you cut those off, make sure you don't cut that little, I keep calling it a stick, but that little attachment, because that's what slides into that hole and will help hold that in place. Okay. All right. Now, what about the other arms? They're just extra arms. Move those to the sides. Okay, so if I look around the model, I have these little gaps, and they give you some parts to cover the gaps. You have some grenades, you have a little piece of armor, you have the ammo box. I think I'm going to cover this hole right here with the ammo box. So let me get that on there. Now, you don't have to. It's entirely up to you if you want to attach those. You can leave the hole on a bunch of the NuCoal. I just left it. It wasn't that big a deal. I think on this side, I'm going to add the little armor plate. That little armor plate. Stick that right there. Right. And then he's no gaps, no holes to see. And there you go. Okay, we are sitting right at about 20-ish minutes. Now, hopefully that helps. Oh, here, you know what? Let me show you the model again. He's pretty much done. Like I said, I will paint the knives separately, and I'll attach them later because they just in moving the paint around, I just don't want to hit them, knock them off, do anything like that. So those will all get attached later. I'll show you the final product after we do the painting. But there you go. Okay, I talked a lot, and so this guy took 20 minutes. I want to say I built the first one I did, this guy, in about, I don't know, about 15, 18 minutes. So again, a couple hours, or Saturday afternoon or whatever, you can get your entire force built. Turn on whatever movie, or if you have access to the old TV show that that I mentioned in the unboxing, turn that on. Heavy Gear Blitz, the animated series, ran for like 2 seasons. I would really like to find all those because I'd like to watch them. If you happen to know where they are, please let me know. Tell me a link to where I can find them. I think I found from like episode 13 on, but I don't know where like the first 12 were. But anyway, I hope this helps. I'm going to shut up so I can move on to the next model. And I hope this helps. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe down in the, put something down in the comments. Let me know, as I've asked before, what factions do you play? I have Peace River. I'm building the NuCoal. I really like the look of the Black Talon. I think that's probably the force I'm wanting to get next. I just like the way they look. They're really super cool models. Actually, all of these models are really cool. Something about the Black Talon, maybe if they were called the Red Talon, I probably, but I don't know, it's just the Black Talon. They sound cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, throw a comment down below, and as always, have a wonderful evening. Have a great night. Bye now.